Midem 2013 and the second day of the conference with digital music trends covering. And I'm happy to welcome to the show today Andrew Teacher from Musicmetric and also Daniel Savage from Musicmetric as well. So hi guys, how's it going today?
Good, how are you?
All right, thank you. Daniel, you're the head of North American operation, and Andrew is the head of communications for the company. And we're going to talk a little bit about what happened past the last week, really, because we've covered, of course, Musicmetric already on the show. But there were some couple of interesting bits of news that came out last week that are pretty important for the company. So let's start with the fundraise. What happened there?
We just raised our second round of VC money, approximately $5 million.
Wow.
Which is amazing in that it shows that the financial community has a lot of confidence in our sector and our company specifically.
Yeah.
It's also a good bellwether as far as how people in the music and entertainment industry are starting to really value the use of metrics and data in what they're doing in their day-to-day marketing activities.
Yeah.
And ultimately that funding is allowing us to make the product even better. It's already best in class, and we're now kind of going into overdrive to continue to make system enhancements and make other deals with other data providers to make the system great.
Of course, and of course, talking about North America, how is the international expansion of the company looking like, and what are your plans for outreach to artists and labels there?
Well, it's a little upside down in that the company started in London and is headquartered in London.
Yeah.
So actually, the U.S. operation is a fairly recent situation, and so now we're rapidly building up in the U.S., whereas the U.K. and continental Europe have already had a head start of several years. So we're adding staff in America, in Los Angeles and New York and Nashville, and the outreach to the music and entertainment and brand communities continues.
Yeah, and Andrew, of course, you have a pretty strong base on technology, and communication is going to be a big part of how you play the next few months to expand into the North American market. What do you think are the most important things to communicate to artists and labels to adopt the system?
I mean, I think the most important thing is that Musicmetric is a global company. I mean, we've got offices both in LA and in London, and the recent investment that's come from Imperial Innovations and Pentec Ventures, which are two quite big investment firms in the tech sphere. It shows that they see a lot of value in the Musicmetric offer. And Symmetric, which is the company that owns Musicmetric, are obviously going to be looking at other things to roll forward that platform. And from a music point of view, I mean, what we're really seeing is the music industry finally embracing the various opportunities that are afforded by better data analyzation, better benchmarking and performance comparison of what they're doing. And certainly the response that we've had here at Midem has been fantastic. Everyone that's been talking about the Spotify deal that we've announced, everybody's been talking about Musicmetric successful fundraising, and everybody is really, really interested in what we're going to be doing over the next year and what new features Musicmetric is going to be rolling out in Musicmetric Pro, which is its main, its premium dashboard, which obviously people can use to gather better insight into their campaigns.
Of course. And talking about the Spotify deal, so can you explain? There's been a fair amount of press around that, but can you explain essentially what it is and what it means for the company in a fairly simple way?
Sure. I mean, for those who are not familiar with the Musicmetric product, basically, we take in data from a number of different sources, including Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Vimeo, Vivo, anybody that, the major data providers. We take all that in and we formulate it into a coherent dashboard, which allows for analysis of not only the individual metrics, but also how they all work together and the interrelationship between them. So the Spotify deal is a major innovation for us in that it provides streaming data and it's regionalized by virtue of the fact that Spotify operates on a regional level. So rights holders will be able to see streaming data for their artists in that particular country. So you'll be able to see, for example, in addition to your Facebook fan acquisition, your Twitter followers, et cetera, your YouTube plays, you'll be able to see. And I increased my Spotify streaming in the United States by 21%. And, what does that mean? And the other thing I think is really interesting is that as an industry, we will start to be able to analyze the correlation between streaming and illegal file trading, which we're the only company to track illegal file trading in the robust way that we do. And we've already seen some leading indicators that as streaming increases, we're seeing decreases in illegal file trading in those territories. So I think as we have the full rollout of the Spotify information, I think that'll become even more apparent.
Of course, and talking about the product offering as well of Musicmetric, and when I speak to other companies that do metrics and of music and track data, I think the biggest issue that I come across, and I think it's common to everyone, is the silencing of data. Because of course, if you have an artist that accesses the system, for example through the Spotify deal, that data, of course, is accessible only to the artist, and that's closed. And part of the offering of Musicmetric is a subscription by which you can actually track multiple artists. So how do you see those two things live together? Because, of course, the more data that was out there, the better, but most people are not going to want to share that data.
Well, not only will they not want to share it, but they can't share it. That's just the way it is. So if you're the rights holder, you'll be able to see the streaming data for your own repertoire, but other people won't. So, at the end of the day, the rights holders will be able to use that data to make better marketing decisions, and that's good. And other companies won't have access to it. But, you're absolutely correct in that we feel that one of the biggest offerings that we have is the fact that we track over 700,000 artists. And used in the right way, Musicmetric is an incredible tool for competitive analysis versus some other ways that you can track just your own information. Now you'll be able to say, well, I know how I'm doing, and how does that compare to my competition, and where am I in the general scheme of things?
Absolutely. And do you think that, for example, some of the most recent announcements in regards to making charts on streaming, for example, by Billboard and other companies, that those may come into play as ways to sort of create a mean level to compare streaming data without actually referring to an individual service?
Well, sure. I mean, more information is always better, and people will, have the ingenuity to take whatever is out there and try to use it. I think, generally speaking, what you're referring to as far as more streaming charts and other companies that are in the analytics space in a less robust way than we are. At the end of the day, we're all contributing to elevating the conversation. And, really, and as Andrew referenced before, the fact that the music industry, which used to not embrace data so well, as over the last few years, as there's been a major sea change, and people that are in positions of influence and power in the music business are now actually looking at the data and making decisions based on fact rather than hunches.
Which is great. Well, I would encourage everybody to go and check out musicmetric.com, especially if you're in North America and you're not familiar with the service. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.